Some lessons stick with you for life. I remember the exact moment I realized that I wasn't prepared for anything. It was 1982. I was 12 years old, and I was shivering in chest-deep snow, holding a plastic bag and waiting for a bird that didn't exist. Most people think preparedness is about prepping for the end of the world. But for me, it's about a cold, hungry night that taught me the difference between having a plan and true self-reliance. It was my very first weekend camping trip with the Boy Scouts. We hiked several miles, climbing in elevation, snow crunching under our boots. When we arrived where we would set up camp, the snow was so deep we had to dig out spaces just big enough for our tents. The cold bit through my layers and every breath felt sharp and stinging. We cut down some standing deadwood and broke off as many dead branches as we could reach for firewood. Everything else was covered in a thick white blanket. Using our e-tools, we scraped out a round pit in the frozen ground. Two of the more experienced scouts argued over who would start the fire. Before dinner that night, the older scouts announced what I now know as their traditional initiation, hunting for snipe. They promised the birds would be a perfect addition to our meal and gave a quick demonstration on how we would catch them. Then they led me and another new scout about 20 minutes away from camp and into a large dark clearing, highlighted only slightly by a sliver of moonlight. Armed with only a black plastic bag and our own determination, we trudged through chest-deep snow, creating what resembled a trench, and we were ready for battle. The plan was simple: catch the birds as they were flushed towards us, but the reality was anything but simple. I balanced a flashlight in one hand and the bag in the other, occasionally holding the flashlight between my neck and a raised shoulder so that I could use both hands to grip the bag. I remember thinking that I had never seen so many stars before, and I focused intently on every sound coming from the forest. The voices of the older scouts had faded long ago, but not a single bird appeared. Hours passed. My fingers and toes went numb. I shivered uncontrollably. Despite having gloves, a coat, and several layers of clothing, my body ached and my mind raced. Are snipes even real? How do we get back to camp? Eventually, I convinced my new buddy to give up and to return to camp with me. We followed our own footprints and found our way back, but it wasn't a welcome sight. The fire pit had only a few visible coals. The entire pile of firewood was gone. No dinner, no warm fire. Other than a deep snoring sound coming from one of the tents, there was just silence. The silence of a camp that had already turned in. For hours that evening, I had thought about the tinfoil dinner my dad helped me make and how I was going to dump a hot meal into my brand new mess kit and enjoy that dinner. Exhausted, freezing, hungry, and still fully clothed, I crawled into my tent. I devoured a granola bar that I had reluctantly taken from my mom as I was leaving home. I zipped up in my sleeping bag and tried to sleep off the ordeal. Looking back, I realized that we weren't truly suffering, but that experience left a mark. That night taught me the value of preparation. Never be caught cold, hungry, or without a plan. That tiny granola bar was the difference between a miserable night and a potentially dangerous one. Since then, I've committed to being ready for unexpected challenges, discomfort, and life's unpredictable twists. For me, preparedness isn't a fear of impending doom. It shouldn't be for you either. It should be something that gives you confidence, resourcefulness, and peace of mind, knowing that you can handle most of the challenges that you'll face because you've taken steps to prepare for them. Be vigilant and stay ready.